And hello everybody, welcome back to Tousi TV, your global news channel. I'm your host Dan, and we have got some breaking news for you this evening, as there has been a mass shooting in Sweden and several people are feared dead. As always, guys, we will be breaking down what we know. We've got some video footage and some images, of course, from the scene. But as always, with breaking news, we don't know the full scale of what has happened as of yet. But as always, guys, before we do get into it, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and get involved in the live chat below. As stated, there has been a mass shooting, of course, in Sweden. And I just want to give you a reference point as to where this is. It's in a city called Uppsala. As you can see, they're located on the map. So around the middle of Sweden, Uppsala is the name of the region. And what we know thus far, guys, is that several people have died after a shooting at a hair salon in the town of Uppsala, Swedish media have reported. Police said they would receive calls from members of the public who reported they heard loud bangs that sounded like gunfire close to Vakasala Square in the center of the city. The shooting happened on the eve of the Spring Festival, which brings large crowds onto the street. Several people were found with injuries that suggested gunshot wounds, police have stated. Officers have cornered off a large area and an investigation is currently underway. They've also stated that a manhunt is still currently ongoing, which we'll get to a little bit later on in terms of the details with regard to that. But I do have some video footage from the scene to share with you. Have a watch of this. As stated, a major police operation is underway, and this is a description of the individual and some eyewitness accounts, of course, from the scene. And we're actually going to go on and discuss Sweden as a whole, because right now, Sweden is probably the worst place in Europe. There's just been so many things, incidents like this. I mean, there was a grenade thrown through someone's house that injured a mother and a daughter the other day, literally. There's always something going on in Sweden. It is a cesspit at this moment in time. But with regard to this one, guys, as stated, several people have been killed and a manhunt is currently underway. And this is what an eyewitness has stated. They said, "I heard 5 to 6 shots. A man is believed to have fled the scene on an electric scooter and a manhunt is underway. The man is said to be wearing sunglasses and dark clothing, according to the police description. 3 people are dead, according to information provided by Aftonbladet. A police helicopter is circling the scene. The shooting took place in connection with a hair salon, according to Aftonbladet's reporter on site. The police have set up a large roadblock in the area." So if you're going off early indications thus far, it doesn't seem as though it would be terror related as such when you do see these mass shootings, but there is massive amounts of problems with these violent interactions, violent attacks that are happening all across Sweden at this moment in time. This week alone, I mean, I just scroll on X and I see something always to do with Sweden, whether that be shootings, bombs, grenades, all of these kind of things. It's always going on in Sweden at this moment in time, and that place is completely ruined, a place that is so naturally beautiful. It's really, really, really sad to see. In terms of that report, it did state that 3 people have been killed, but again, there's various news outlets reporting different numbers. So we'll have to wait a bit longer in terms of confirmation on an actual number of how many people are dead. But as stated, another horrific attack that has taken place in Sweden. Guys, I do want to get your reaction on this one down there in the live chat, so do get involved if you will. Get your thoughts and opinions on what's happened in Sweden over the last, God knows, the last few years. It's been really, really bad. But this week alone, it's also been very, very bad to see. And this is just yet another horrific attack that has happened in the country of Sweden. I've got a couple of super chats here, guys, so I'll take them. We've got a donation here. It says, an American destroyer is currently docked at Indian Navy HQ. If Pakistan fires a nuke at the bases, would that be an extension, be a nuke attack on the USA? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not too clued up on what's going on right now in terms of Pakistan and India, but I'm sure Maya will provide you an update on all of the unfoldings on what's happening over there a little bit later on. Thank you for the donation, though. We got another donation here as well. Pakistani Muslims are bullying Hindus on Birmingham streets, calling them terrorists openly, sometimes beating. No police action. Why UK is proud of being so submissive to Pakistan? Why? What do they get in return? I don't know. But thank you so much for your donation. Let's go through some of the live chat, guys. Do let me know what you think on Sweden, on this mass shooting in Sweden. Actually, for those of you in the UK, there was a triple shooting today in London as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of shooting incidents across the continent of Europe. Melly says, one problem, and all European governments are bending their knees. Got some Swedish people here in the chat as well. Good to see you all. Honestly, my heart breaks every time I think about what happened to my country. It didn't used to be like this. I'm wondering from, Swedish people, of course. As I said, I keep my eye loosely on what's going on in Sweden. But as I stated, this week alone, I did read a really shocking incident. I think it was gang-related, actually, with regard to a grenade. A grenade was thrown into the wrong house on a residential street and ended up, of course, injuring a mother and a daughter just sitting in their living room. Explosion went off, and I think there's a state that they targeted the wrong house. But these things are currently constantly going on in Sweden. I'm seeing bombs all of the time. It's shocking. And one of those eyewitness things there. I'm going to get it up a second again. At the thing, someone said, the guy who runs a record store nearby said, to be honest, you start to get used to it, but it's not pleasant at all. That's a resident within this city of Uppsala in Sweden stating, honestly, you're getting used to it, but it's not pleasant to see. You're just getting used to shootings in broad daylight happen within Sweden. That's absolutely disgusting and it's absolutely horrific. And as stated, I do believe Sweden has probably got the worst problem right now with regard to these violent attacks and interactions. Let's take some more. To be fair, I don't even know what... that's a very good point. I'm not going to say anything. No, that's a very, very good point with regard to... I actually said a really good comment a second ago. Just remembered. Oh no, I just lost it. Problem with being on a live channel, guys. Problem being on the live chat. I just lost a really good point. I hope it comes back. Oh no. It was good. Oh, damn. It's lost. It's lost in the live chat. Anyway, yeah, keep the comments coming, guys, and we'll discuss what's going on. But I do want to hear from some Swedish viewers. If any of you guys are currently living in Sweden, do let me know your thoughts on the country and the state of the country at this moment in time. And why do you think that this is happening? As stated, from someone that's watching on loosely, It seems like it's every single day that something's happening. Where is Mr. Tousi today? Guys, obviously he is currently in Israel at this moment in time, of course, creating a documentary for Tousi TV Plus. So he's working very, very hard. And of course, if there is breaking news stories like these situations or this story today, then I'll be here to cover. But rest assured, he'll be back later probably for some more live streams. But he is working hard behind the scenes. So I'm going to give a Tousi TV Plus plug. Some really exciting content, of course, coming up on the platform. So if you haven't already signed up, make sure you do. Link is down there in the description, or you can go down to, or you just head over to Tousi TV Plus. A really exciting documentary in the works, and there's a lot of content already there on the platform. We've got some more live chats. Anthony says these violent attacks and shootings going on in the European continent show us how we value the Second Amendment here in the US because of the right to self-defense. Yeah, I mean, of course, that's always, people outside America, of course, mock people within America with regard to guns. Not everybody, of course, but with regard to guns. But again, we're starting to see a hell of a lot of shootings right now, and you can't even defend yourself in Europe, which is disgusting, and it's really hard to see. But thank you so much for your $10 donation. We've got another donation here again. Sweden going net zero through civilian use of technology. Peaceful purposes of all sorts of coinciding together in Sweden. I'm probably going to do a bit of a deep dive into Sweden and go through everything on what's actually happening. But yeah, for those that's any Swedish viewers, please do get your thoughts in the live chat. I do want to know from what you guys are thinking from living there. I always think of Sweden as a very picturesque place, beautiful people, and all of these kind of things, these kind of stereotypes. But to see the violence that's coming out there at this moment in time is really horrific. Another donation there as well. Thank you so much for your €1.19 from Rene Delpans. Thank you so much. Another donation here again. Modi Abhishek says Modi just gave Indian Defence Force all three wings to take matters into its own hands to retaliate against Pakistan. No political strings attached. Thank you for your donation. The covert customer says far too many of these shootings, stabbings in vehicles driving through crowds. I feel the world has gone mad. Rest in peace to all innocent victims and prayers to all those that are affected by this heinous act. Exactly. I don't know what's actually gone on in this in particular incident. Of course, this mass shooting in Sweden, of course, it's still early days. It's breaking news, so we don't really know the full scale of it. But looking at it, it's happened within a hair salon. So I don't know, just with the similar incidents that have been going on in the country as of late, people will probably point to gang-related violence. But then again, we don't know that just yet. We don't know too much with regard to it as the news has just came out. But we'll keep you up to date as this story does develop. Kareem says 3 killed. Yeah, I've seen 3 killed in one outlet, and then of course I've seen more in some other outlets. But again, with breaking news stories, you don't really get a full scale straight away in terms of the official numbers and statistics on people who have been killed or injured. But as always, when you're doing these and reporting these news, it's important to always say that, again, my prayers and my thoughts are currently with the victims and their families at this moment in time. It's absolutely horrific. Broken Prophet says, close your gates, Europe. So what's the political, again, I'm asking a question here today, as stated, for those of you that don't know me, I focus mainly on British politics and British news, but what's the feeling in Sweden? Is there any, as I said, if there's any Swedish people in the live chat, I'd love to hear. What do you guys feel for your government? What's the country's feeling on the ground with regard to your government? What is it like? Is it left wing? Is it centre left? Is it centre right? Blah, blah, blah. What is the political makeup right now in Sweden? Why is it such a cesspit at this moment in time? Why is it so violent? What are the government doing about it in Sweden? I would love to know. There we go, we've got a Swedish Tony in the house. He says, I'm from Sweden and live here, but I'm planning to move away from this sinking ship now. I would love for you to elaborate. What is the government doing out there? Obviously nothing, but what is the feeling to the government in Sweden? Do let me know. Richard said, Swede said it's a normal Tuesday. That's the feeling I'm getting. Every day on X, there's always something. There's always something. It's always coming out of Sweden. Max says Swedish government is woke far left, and that's always there's your problem right there. Far left woke governments running countries never ever will get something like this sorted. Oh, there we go. Klaus says left, everything turned left, even the so-called Conservative Party. I'm going to do a bit of digging into Sweden. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of my evening tonight. I'm going to do some research on what the heck is happening and try and get a feel for what is actually going on in that country. That's how I used to think of it. Once upon a time, there was a country called Sweden. It was picturesque. It's not picturesque anymore. Always sad to see, losing their identity. I've spoken to a lot of Swedish people recently, actually, over the last couple of weeks, since being on the other side of the world. A lot of people traveling, but Swedish people are very, very, very lovely people, genuinely. Such nice people. Really, really nice people. We've got another donation. Thank you so much for your donation. Only cowards leave their homes because of rude guests. Thank you. J.R. Williams says grenade attacks are apparently a thing there. They absolutely are. They absolutely are. That's a regular occurrence. And bombs being found. Now, what is it? What's the question I have? I know the grenade attacks, well, the one most recently was, I think, gang-related. But what's with all of these bombs being made? That's what you say. You need to really try and fully understand and get a grip on what's actually going on in the country. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. For those of you just tuning in, just a conclusion, of course, there has been a mass shooting in Sweden. Several people feared dead at this moment in time, but as always, it is breaking, so we don't know the full scale yet, and there's a manhunt currently ongoing for the attacker. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you get the notification bell on, because Maya will be back a little bit later on for some more content. Thank you for bearing with me, and remember, we are the media.